essentially, black people in America were taken, like, think of it like Frankenstein. You know, Frankenstein would take the arm from this place and the leg from this place and the head from this place, and they were created into what they are.
As I was scanning through some videos on social media, I came across a conversation by a black Brit from Jamaica and a black Brit from Africa who goes by the name of Ra Garvey. I became aware of Garvey when he used to appear on a podcast called Just Pearly Things. He was pretty much a regular contributor on her podcast. But in this particular conversation, they were talking about a variety of topics. Then the topic shifted to the topic of black Americans. The Jamaican individual started talking about a book that talked about how slavery in America and how slaves showed a level of concern and compassion for their slave masters who were injured during the Civil War. He pitched this narrative in such a way to make it appear that all the black slaves were somehow in love with their masters. Now, Malcolm referred to these kind of Negroes as house Negroes. Clearly, all Negroes didn't behave in that manner. Ra Garvey took this depiction given by this other podcaster and used it to make disparaging and misleading remarks about our people in our history. He goes on to say that black Americans are a creation of the white man, and everything that we are is because of them. Everything that he's saying in this video can actually apply to his own people. This is what I call projection. Cognitive dissonance on full display. Now let's listen to this back and forth as I will give my opinion as we go through this video.
And, you know, so what people talk about slavery, there are very different stories of slavery and ideas around slavery. Booker T. Washington is saying they were anxious. I'll give you a bit of a scenario. This is when, you know, the war, the war to free the slaves, like the war of the South.
Yeah, yes. Do you mean the civil?
Yeah, Civil War.
Okay.
They were just as they were just as anxious to assist in the nursing of the family relatives of the wounded. So black slaves were just as anxious to assist in the nursing of the soldiers who were literally fighting to keep them in slavery, right?
Right.
But they basically, anyway, it's the nature of them.
White soldiers?
Yes, white soldiers.
Right, okay.
So some of the slaves would even beg for the privilege of sitting up at night to nurse their wounded masters. This tenderness and sympathy on the part of those held in bondage was a result of their kindly and generous nature. In order to defend and protect the women and children who were left on the plantations when the white males went to war, the slaves would have laid down their lives. So the slaves would lay down lives. So conditioning. So I mentioned this because I want to talk about conditioning. It's about being taught to think a certain way. So now,
there's a book called The Miseducation of the Negro by W.E.D. Du Bois.
Oh yeah, I've read that.
The Miseducation of the Negro, and in it he says that because of the conditioning of the quote-unquote Negro, right? Negroes were used to go into the big house via the back door. They weren't allowed to go in via the front door, right? And he's actually said something that was quite funny. He said, if there's no back door, a Negro will build a back door and then go through it, because he knows that much that he's not allowed in through the front door. And so a conditioning in the Americas has been done to black people. I said a lot of black people in America won't like it, but it's not my words. There's a woman by the name of Dr. Joy Leary. Okay. She is a psychologist, black psychologist in America, American black woman. And she talks about post-traumatic slave syndrome, is what she calls it. Post-traumatic slave syndrome, right? And essentially, black people in America were taken, like, think of it like Frankenstein. You know, Frankenstein would take the arm from this place and the leg from this place and the head from this place. And they were created into what they are.
What's the form of eugenics kind of thing?
They're severed from what they were. You see, the black people on the continent of Africa, they still, even though they were colonized and you know, enslaved on their continent, they still, because they were in their continent, they got to hold on to some remnants of their culture, their language, their foods, stuff like that, right? So they, even though they were colonized, they weren't totally severed from who they were. The black American is severed from who they were and then cultivated and created into this being. So they don't have a natural language. Their language is the language of the person that created them. Do you get what I'm saying? They don't have a natural religion. Their religion is the religion of the person that created them. They don't have everything that they have has been cultivated by the people that created them.
Okay.
Now here he is mischaracterizing the words of Carter G. Woodson. Woodson was actually saying that if you receive an education of dependency, you would seek the back door even if one does not exist. Throughout our history, there have been many examples of black people revolting against slavery. During Reconstruction, there have been many black people who ran for political office and became congresspeople and senators. You have people like Frederick Douglass, W.E.B. Du Bois, Carter G. Woodson, Elijah Muhammad, Martin Luther King, Black Panthers, Malcolm X, and so many more. That kind of history does not reflect a people who want to go through the back door. He also misrepresented the words of Dr. Joy Leary. She never said that black people were created by white people. She argued that the pattern of behavior and identity seen today are a result of multi-generational trauma from slavery and systematic racism. You know what I find so strange is that black Americans aren't the only ones who had their names changed, have a European religion, and speak the European language. But for some reason, people from the diaspora only think that happened to black Americans, when in reality, it happened to most black people in the Americas. This shows you the fixation they have on black Americans. And I was disappointed in the Jamaican brother for not saying, hey, that applies to us too, Jamaicans. We're in the same boat as the black Americans.
Okay, but we're all...
So when you talk about miseducation, they're not miseducated, they're educated in the way that the people that created them to be educated by. How? The fear was educated into them, the violence educated into them, everything was educated into them via the people that cultivated them. So they're not miseducated, they're educated. They are moving along the exact line that they're supposed to move down, because the people that created them that way created them for them to be like this.
So they are completely... So just no disrespect to Americans.
No, it's not a disrespect.
So in other words, it's like you're saying that they're completely lost. Unless they follow that trajectory. And they continue on that trajectory.
They're completely...
But how do they go from being the person that was, protecting the master and supporting and being, come back as the wounded, looking after them, to the person that now is so anti-white and the hatred towards white people?
Black people don't hate white people.
You don't think that's the case?
They say they do, but they don't. And this is where I get controversial, all right? If black people hated white people, if they really hated them, they would treat them the same way that they were treated. They don't. They love them. So what happens when a white person... They love them.
I don't hate white people.
No, I'm not talking... I don't hate white people. But when you said that...
For America.
But you said that they hate them, and I'm saying they don't hate them. They love them.
But there's definitely anti-whiteness. There's definitely...
No,
man.
Let me tell you something.
I see it... Dude, I got tons of... dude, if I have to put this stuff online... of like people on TikTok talking about, this, almost the disdain for white.
It's lip service. It's lip service. It's not.
God's sake, man.
Mark Anthony.
What's going on?
Mark Anthony. If I hated you, which I don't, bro, right? I would do something to you. If I hated you, I could say, "Oh, you see that Mark Anthony? He's a this. He's a this. He's a blah. He's a blah blah." It's lip service. You used to be in a gang. If someone's talking about doing something, what's worse? Someone talking about doing something or someone doing something?
Someone doing something.
Right. So, because people can talk all the time. Did you hear that someone said this about you? Whatever he said. They don't really hate you, because if they really hated you, bro, they'd do something to you, bro. So
this guy actually thinks just because we don't enact the same brutality upon them that they enacted on us, that somehow that means that we love white people. That is delusional and a stupid way of thinking about things. We have to be strategic as a people. We're only 13% of the population. Violence against them will never work. How do you think we got civil rights legislation passed? We use our brains.
You know what's fucked up? African people don't like black people. Y'all know they treat us like shit. They talk down to us. They think they better than us. And I don't understand, because we from the same tribe, kind of. But they like white people, though. They treat y'all like family. As soon as y'all come around, they get excited. Excuse me, Mr. White Man. Thank you for bringing us here. We love you. Yeah, the white man.
Why does that joke work so well? That's because in reality, it's that Africans are the ones that love white people, not black Americans. This is projection. Garvey is projecting. Here you have Exhibit A. Africans loving on Jesus, a white Jesus. This actually happened in Kenya. You would never see anything like this in America amongst black Americans. We don't get down like that. So Garvey is projecting.
You used to be in a gang. If someone's talking about doing something, what's worse? Someone talking about doing something or someone doing something?
Someone doing something.
Right. So, because people can talk all the time. Did you hear that someone said this about you? Whatever. He said what's else. They don't really hate you, because if they really hated you, bro, they'd do something to you, bro. So this is what I'm trying to say. Black people don't hate white people.
Thank God.
They're just
thank
talking.
God they didn't hate me that much.
No, but they're just talking. So I'm saying, black people in the Western world,
and we hate each other though.
Because they do. That's what I'm trying to say. We do things to each other.
No, 6 times. No, in America, it's 6 times more likely to kill a black, some foreign race than a white person. And in the UK, it's 4 times. We're 4 times more likely to kill a black person than we will kill anybody else.
Like I said, because we.
Not that I don't want anyone. Please don't go and kill anyone.
But this is what I'm trying to say. We do things to each other, which shows the hate. So you can say, "Oh, I hate you," and it's like, well, that's just lip service, because you ain't showing me that you hate me. When you hate someone, you do something to them. You don't just talk about not liking them. So this is why I said, black people love white people. Black people. I know you're a Christian, but black people worship a white man in the sky.
Yeah, but
they don't. They don't.
Look at this guy. Christian. Look at this.
They don't hate white people. They love them. Black women say they don't like white women, but they got their hair on their head every day. They wear their hair. They don't hate them. There's a thin line between love and hate. They love them. A lot of them want to be them.
So is that what kind of makes up for that? What you're saying there makes me think, well, is this what's behind that kind of colorism thing and is that like a form of jealousy towards light-skinned people then?
Of course it is, because black people are the only people systematically for hundreds of years that were told that their dark skin is bad. They were the only people that were told that the way their nose looks is bad. They were the only people that were told for hundreds of years that their hair is bad. So what's that going to do to your self-confidence?
It's a form of, was it body dysmorphia?
Just going to give you body dysmorphia. That's why black people are bleaching. They're throwing on wigs. They're now doing nose jobs. Right? They don't hate white people. They love them. Because if you didn't love them, you wouldn't be trying to emulate them.
Wow, let's attack black women for trying to be white. No, they're not trying to be white. They're trying to survive. In corporate America, natural hair is a problem. White women were jealous because they could not wear their hair in the styles that black American women could wear their hair. So they vilified them and said, you can't work in corporate environments with your hair in a natural state. Black women were never trying to look white. That's why we don't have an issue with skin lightening creams in this country as opposed to African countries where I believe they lead the world as consumers of those products. Yeah, man, I'm interested in what you guys have to say about this particular video. So hit me up in the comments, like, share, and subscribe. Until the next time, peace.